My name is Dan. This report ranks what I believe are the best places to retire in Philippines for 2025. I've been going to the Philippines for 15 years. In the last 5 years, I've lived in or visited 21 different cities in the Philippines. In fact, I was locked down in the Philippines for about 7 months during the pandemic. I've spent thousands of dollars of my own money putting my feet on the ground in every single one of these paradise locations I will share with you in this video. As I travel around the Philippines, I gather data about each place, such as cost of living, the pros and cons, quality of food and life, medical, retirement visas, dating, and love overseas, and I've assigned a retirement desirability score for each place in the Philippines. I'll show you my video of each place in the Philippines as I describe it to you. Best places to retire in the Philippines for 2025. I'll rank my favorite 10 places to move and retire today in the Philippines and tell you why they made the top 10. Then I'll give you 5 bonus places in case your priorities are different than mine, and I'll tell you why I picked those for you. I'm going to give you my top 10 favorites in reverse order, so my number 1 favorite will be last. Okay, number 10, Iloilo City in the Philippines. If you're a medium-sized town lover that likes a well-organized, safe city that is comparatively clean to other cities in the Philippines, and you don't need a large population of other expats to entertain you, then Iloilo City is probably right for you. We saw very few expats walking around Iloilo City. This would be a great town to live if you were interested in quietly integrating into the local culture. There's dining, fishing, scuba, swimming, boating, yoga, partying, live music. If you get bored, grab a ferry to any of the thousands of other islands in the Philippines. We ride buses between cities, but the ferries are large enough to transport your motorcycle or car if you prefer. Overall, Iloilo City is a very nice place to live. Okay, coming in at number 9, Davao in Philippines. Davao is a great choice for nature lovers. Davao is a great choice for nature lovers. There are beautiful white sand beaches to explore on the islands just offshore from Davao and gorgeous volcanic mountains surrounded by jungles to explore, all within a few hours of Davao. Plus, you are just a short flight from some of the most beautiful beaches, jungles, and mountains of the Philippines. You'll find live music in the city and safe nightlife to walk around and enjoy. Make sure to check out the night market and taste the local foods. There are several large malls in Davao where people go to see and be seen, enjoy a movie, or sample the food courts. Okay, Panglao, Boho, number 8. The one thing you can get in Panglao that we don't often see in the Philippines is multiple nearby white sand beaches without driving far away and without getting on a boat or ferry. Having easy access to 4 white sand beaches, just a short scooter, jeepney, or tricycle taxi ride away, meant we could visit beautiful beaches with less time and money. You're going to need a scooter or a small car, though the island's kind of spread out. The tricycle taxis seem to charge much more here than in other parts of the Philippines. They charge what tourists are willing to pay instead of what the locals can afford. For that reason, we'd probably decide to live on Boho in the nearby city of Tagbilaran, just 20 kilometers away, and visit Panglao when we wanted to see the beaches. Tagbilaran city is walkable, and it's on the bigger island called Boho that has other fun things to do, like the chocolate hills, the waterfalls, the Tazir primates, and riverboats. Okay, coming in at number 7, I would say Cebu City in the Philippines. Many of you have told us that you would like to retire in places that have larger, fully staffed hospitals. In the Philippines, that means places like Cebu and Metro Manila. People travel to Cebu to visit better known hospitals, but Cebu City is slightly more expensive than surrounding rural areas. So, depending on how far you are willing to be from a major hospital, you may want to consider smaller surrounding communities. But Cebu City has other benefits like larger malls with greater selection, more foreign and domestic restaurants, and a larger dating pool if you're single and looking for love in the Philippines. I also like going on trips to nearby beautiful nature spots at least once a month, and Cebu City has a bunch of nearby spots for that. Plus, Cebu City is full of educated young people who speak many languages and have discretionary income. Cebu City has ferries running to other islands and buses running all over Cebu Island, so you can get to the nature when the mood strikes without driving. Coming in at number 6, Makati, Philippines. There's more money on average in the Metro Manila area than around most of the Philippines. That means more food choices, more malls, more live music, and more things to do in terms of city life. Manila is a large, sprawling city with traffic trouble, so it takes a long time to get out into nature. But there are 7,000 islands in the Philippines with some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. The island of Palawan is just an hour away by air for about $100 per person or less. Thus, it is not very difficult at all to find your way to the most beautiful white sand beaches in the world. BGC in Metro Manila is about a 30-minute taxi ride from the central part of Makati. It's literally the cleanest, most beautiful modern city in the world, as far as I know. It's much more beautiful and clean than Makati, but a little sterile and antiseptic, in my opinion. So although I don't think I could live there, you must at least visit there when you're in Manila. Almost all of the food in the world is in Metro Manila area because it is the capital of the Philippines. There is a very meat-centric diet in the Philippines in general, but we were surprised how many vegetarian choices were on the menu and how many completely vegetarian or vegan restaurants were in Makati. Okay, coming in at number 5, 𝗂𝐿𝐴 Island in the Philippines. 𝗂𝐿𝐴 Island is a short ferry ride from 𝗤𝗎𝗄 in the Philippines. The San Juan area is our favorite area of 𝗂𝐿𝐴 Island because it has the greatest assortment of different kinds of restaurants and nightlife, and it has our favorite beaches. This is a small island with the white sand beaches, snorkeling, fishing, scuba, swimming, boating, yoga, partying, live music, and amazing waterfalls. But if you get bored, grab a ferry over to 𝗤𝗎𝗄 or Cebu City for some city life. If you are a small town person that likes rural areas surrounded by nature and beaches, then 𝗂𝐿𝐴 Island is probably right for you. If you like larger cities with more going on, then you might get bored living here. The good news is you're just a short ferry ride away from a couple of cities. Okay, Puerto Galera in the Philippines coming in at number 4. Puerto Galera has some of the most beautiful white sand beaches in the Philippines. Most of the beaches this nice in the Philippines are a long ways from hospitals, malls, and modern infrastructure. But Puerto Galera is only a 1-hour ferry ride from the big island of Luzon. That means you'll be able to enjoy a small town life with white sand beaches and amazing, beautiful water sports, but still have quick and inexpensive access to Metro Manila, where there are great hospitals, malls, and every kind of product that you'll find in one of the largest cities in the world in the Philippines, Manila. If you're thinking of living on or near the beach in the Philippines, you should also consider Siquijor, Camiguin, and El Nido before making a final decision. Okay, coming in at number 3, Dumaguete in the Philippines. Dumaguete is a quaint little city that you may not expect to find near the top of the Retire Early for Pennies ranking. But the city has everything you need in terms of a public market, restaurants, grocery stores with many international foods. Plus, there's a central area where you could live and walk everywhere. But I would prefer to live up the hill about 8 kilometers in a smaller city called Valencia. There are hot springs, waterfalls, and public markets. But you'll need a scooter to get around or a small car. The real fun starts when you hop on a ferry to one of the beautiful islands nearby like Apo or Siquijor. If you are a diver or love snorkeling, consider living in the suburb of 𝗤𝗎𝐻𝑒 called Darwin. Darwin has an enviable marine sanctuary that you can swim to every day from the public beach. The 𝗤𝗎𝐻𝑒 City Center has just enough people and businesses to make everyday life a little easier and more diverse without feeling overwhelmed. Plus, it is a university town which has influenced the dynamic nature of the city and has one of the best hospitals and medical schools in a smaller town in the islands, especially, as I say, for a smaller town. 𝗤𝗎𝐻𝑒 has dropped a few notches on our last visit because it's starting to feel a little too westernized in 2023. Maybe because there's so many expats living there now. Okay, coming in at number 2, Boracay in the Philippines. Boracay Island is one of the most gorgeous white sand beaches in the world. Boracay stands above the other white sand beaches locations in the Philippines because it has a huge selection of excellent international restaurants within walking distance of anywhere on the island. Other white sand beaches in the Philippines, El Nido, Siquijor, Puerto Galera, are more typically in remote locations, which means your international restaurant choices will be much more limited. Boracay also has a large selection of nightlife entertainment choices, all within walking distance. So we would walk everywhere mostly and jump on tricycle taxis if we were in a hurry or trying to bring groceries home. We might even purchase bicycles, but we would not need a car or scooter. There are only 3 downsides to Boracay, or it would easily make it into one of the top places in the world. First, we might get island fever eventually, since it's a fairly small island focused primarily on tourism. Second, we would need to travel to a larger city like Cebu, Iloilo, or Manila for any healthcare complications. And third, the cost of living in Boracay is at least 30% higher than many other parts of the Philippines, which we cover in detail in the full Boracay report. After I tell you my number 1 place I would retire in the Philippines today, I'll give you 5 bonus places in case you have different priorities than mine. Okay, here's my number 1 place to retire in the Philippines, Baguio. One of the first things you will notice about Baguio is it's never too hot or too cold there. It's a mile high in the sky, so it has moderate highland temperatures. The next thing you'll notice is the green and beautiful central area of Baguio. The sidewalks are well maintained. There are plants growing everywhere, which are maintained by Baguio City year-round. There is a very large central park full of manicured grass and picnic tables with a lake full of paddle boats you can enjoy with your family and friends. It's also one of the most creative cities in the Philippines, with college students dressing up in Japanese anime costumes, walking around and drawing chalk characters on Sessions roads when it's closed to automobiles on Sundays. Because this is a college town, there seems to be a never-ending set of things to do and events to attend that often include cheap street food and fun arts and music. Plus, Baguio is one of the most walkable cities, so if you decide to live close in, you would not need a car. Okay, time for 5 bonus places different than my top 10 priorities. These 5 bonus places are in no particular order, but they may be interesting to you personally for the reasons I'll give for each. Siargao Island in the Philippines. Siargao is a surfer's paradise, and it is beautiful for sure. I think everyone should visit, but maybe not retire there. I like the lifestyle and attitudes of the people here, but I think I would get bored if I lived here long term. But if you're a surfer hippie, it's worth your consideration. I'm a bit of a hippie, but I'm not a surfer. The cost of living for such a high quality of life is brilliant here. Also, I really seem to like the kind of expats that are attracted to Siargao. More hurricanes seem to hit this part of the Philippines than almost any other. So if you do move to Siargao, pay attention to the weather and take it seriously. Okay, La Union in the Philippines. This would also be a great place for surfers, and you don't have to worry as much about typhoons. Most people choose San Juan to live in because of the amazing beach life available. The reason San Juan stands out different from most beach areas of the Philippines is it has a noticeably more Western style beach feeling to it, with corresponding food and nightlife than almost anywhere else in the Philippines. San Juan La Union is easily in the top 3 places in the Philippines for hippie surfer types. You'll also find young professionals with discretionary income who come up here on long weekends to blow off steam. Many drive up here, but others jump on one of the luxury buses that leave Manila or Baguio every hour or two. Okay, Subic Bay in the Philippines. The Americans occupied Subic Bay for almost 100 years. Subic Bay is a popular weekend destination for residents of Metro Manila. They come here for the beaches, the underwater aquarium, jungle survivor tours, and the duty-free shopping. The area also includes Subic Bay Yacht Club. There are many American veterans in this part of the Philippines. There's a high quality of life in Subic Bay, especially for the cost of living. We noticed how clean the streets were and how friendly the people of Subic Bay were to us. Plus, many of the homes and apartments have been updated, so it's fun to just walk around and sightsee. One Aussie we ran into said that Subic Bay has been adapting to a more Western lifestyle for almost a century because of the American influence from when the Navy base was here. That made sense to us. We felt very comfortable in Subic Bay. This place would make a carefree, friendly retirement spot. Okay, Angeles City in the Philippines. Angeles City is most famous for its walking street. If you're not familiar with walking streets in Southeast Asia, they are where tourists go to watch beautiful women dance at all hours of the night. There are already thousands of retired American veterans in this part of the Philippines, but it's not as crazy as it was 30 years ago when 15,000 young Americans were stationed at Clark Air Force Base. Daily life is fairly easy in Angeles City. There's a great mall, a great public market, and tons of great restaurants with both foreign and domestic food at reasonable prices. In the end, it's just another city in the Philippines with a crazier nightlife and more food choices than most places. But for long-term living or retirement, I'd want to be closer to beautiful nature, whether the mountains or the sea. Okay, El Nido, Philippines. El Nido is ranked as one of the most beautiful places in the world. There are not as many retired expats in El Nido as in other parts of the Philippines. It is more of an international hotspot for tourists, but we still found local-style accommodations, just a short scooter ride outside the tourist areas. El Nido is known more as a remote location where people go to enjoy island hopping and white sand beaches and amazing cliff formations in the boat tours. So international tourists feel lucky to find a nice pizza when they are here. El Nido has fishing, biking, kayaking, scuba, snorkeling, island hopping, bar hopping, cooking, gym, yoga, restaurants, running, coffee shops, and hiking. You should be able to get a basic medical care at various clinics around El Nido, but for more serious problems, you'll need to fly to Manila. If you'd like to spend your final years in one of the most beautiful remote places in the world that costs more than a typical province living in the Philippines, but not as much as somewhere like Boracay, then El Nido may be a great choice for you. To watch my YouTube playlist for all of the places we've been in the Philippines that include cost of living and a bunch of other details, click the playlist in the upper right-hand corner of your screen right now.